Let's get some analysis on what to expect with Lorenzo Codogno. He's the founder and chief economist at LC Macro Advisors. He's also the former chief economist of the Italian Treasury. He joins us from London today. Lorenzo, thanks for your time. So as we get into this discussion about what could possibly happen in Italy, this has been described to me as a game of musical chairs in a way, but it's one that happens in secret, and it's a game that could ultimately determine the survival of the government. So before we get into the scenarios, help me understand how this vote actually works and how long this might take.
Well, it is an election that is performed by MPs plus some regional representatives. It is done every 7 years, and it is to appoint the president of the republic, which has more powers than in any other European country, I would say, especially at times of crisis. However, this time it's particularly important because it is linked to a confirmation of the support to the government led by Mario Draghi, who is a national unity government supported by all political forces but one. And also, I would say it's linked to the timing of the next general election. So it's particularly important, given that it is also linked to the big amount of money coming from the EU as part of the Recovery and Resilience Plan. I think it's of a paramount importance, not only for Italy, but also for the future of Europe.
Now, this is a situation critical for Italy then, and of course the outcome is notoriously hard to predict, but what do you think is the most likely scenario?
Well, here I think there are two basic scenarios. One is that Draghi is confirmed as prime minister, and the parties currently supporting his government will confirm the support, and someone else is appointed as president for the next 7 years. Alternatively, Draghi is appointed as president, and then he would have immediately to step down as prime minister, and someone else must be elected. As you can imagine, this second option would open up a Pandora box and would be a risky solution for Italy, as there is no guarantee that parties will keep supporting a government without Draghi that is really the power broker, so to speak, within the government. Finally, I would say there is also another option, which is more risky in my view, that parties don't find an agreement on the new prime minister and the new government, so effectively there will be snap elections. I think this would be the most negative and dangerous scenario for financial markets, because effectively would mean that any policy initiative in the country would be delayed by probably 5-6 months in a year that is absolutely important for Italy to deliver on reforms and investments. It would be a massive waste of time.
Indeed, and you are right to point out the investor concern here, because investors are worried that Italy could perhaps slip behind on really important reforms should Draghi step down as prime minister and become president. So how important is all of this when it comes to Italy's COVID recovery plan, which is of course being funded by the European Commission? This could have significant implications across wider Europe.
Absolutely. Italy is the most important recipient of EU funds. And in 2021, Italy already delivered on the promised milestones and targets. However, most of these targets were mostly procedural and legal steps in the process towards reform. The real stuff comes in 2022, and so it will be difficult from a political point of view to find agreements on specific reforms that are due to be delivered. In the current year, Italy needs to deliver more than 100 milestones and targets linked to the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. So it will be a tough year for policymaking, and Draghi seems to be the only person that can actually bring together political forces that have completely different views on what needs to be done.